Yeah.
Regular scheduled meeting for the month of February, town of Sneads is now come to order. So we'll make note of those that are present. And I'd like to ask everyone if we would stand, let's say the pledge of allegiance, please.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Don't mind remain standing. I'm asking you to see where open some word of prayer.
Lord, we thank you for this day that you allowed us to see. Lord, we ask you to bless each and every one of us that's sitting up here. Lord, continue to bless us to make decisions for this town, Lord. Lord, continue to bless all the great citizens of this town that we live in. In Jesus' name we all pray. Amen.
Amen.
Okay. Call for a motion to approve the consent agenda if everyone's had the opportunity to look over the stuff.
Make a motion to approve the consent agenda.
Second that.
Motion by Ms. Locke to approve the consent agenda, second by Mr. Perry. All in favor, saying aye. All opposed? Okay, thank you. All right, the first item tonight would be approval of April's
Yeah, okay, so qualifying.
meeting
for-
change.
Yeah, qualifying for the election is this month, depending on if we have an election or not. I just wanted to go ahead and get it on the books in case, because the election would be the night of our April council meeting. So this would be pending if we have an election or not. If we don't have an election, it would still be the same night as usual, as planned, but if not, then we would need to change the council meeting.
What date we changing to?
That would be left up to y'all. Sometimes we do it the next day, which would be the 15th, which is a Wednesday. Or do y'all wanna do it the following week and keep it the same on a Tuesday, which would be the 21st?
What's the pleasure of the council? Personally, I'd like to do it the next day, get it over with.
The 15th?
That's my
Okay.
feeling.
Now, that would be just pending if we have an election or
Right.
not.
Okay.
So, if we don't, then we'll keep it the 14th, the same.
What you think, Kay?
Oh, I'm
You good with that?
You
All right,
think-
go with that? All right. Put it in the form of a motion.
sorry.
Motion by Kay to change the meeting to the 15th.
Pending election.
Huh?
Pending election.
Yeah, right, pending if we have an election or not. Have a second.
Second.
Second by Mr. Perry, all in favor, saying aye. Motion carries, thank you. All right, next item for discussion tonight will be Amnesty Day.
Yeah, amnesty days, we're getting a lot of calls about having spring amnesty. We usually have it Wednesday through Saturday, and we're looking at the dates like the end of April as well on that, like April the 29th through May the 2nd, if that's okay for everybody. That'll give us time to start advertising it and so forth, that those dates are okay with you guys.
April 29th through May 2nd.
Mm-hmm. That's a Wednesday through Saturday.
Everybody in agreement with that?
Sounds good,
Okay.
yeah, I'll make a motion, yeah.
Motion again by Kay to approve those dates for the Amnesty Day. To have a second?
Second.
Second. In two places. All in favor, saying aye.
I need it.
Okay, motion carried. All right, the next item will be a resolution 26-01 MSCOP grant. Jackson Avenue to Gloucester Avenue, all-day hall engineering. Gonna make a comment on that? Bowden, you wanna step up and speak on it?
Mr. Howell's here.
Yes, sir.
So basically, that's just giving us permission to go ahead with the application. And I've got it pretty much completed, and I'm going to be submitting the next couple of weeks. And we
Sounds
got
good.
until March 30th or 31st, I believe, is the deadline. So we're in good standing on that.
Sounds good.
You have to promise that we're gonna get it.
It sure needed.
Yeah.
What's the pleasure of the council on that motion?
Do we have to make,
Just,
that we accept it? Okay, we
yeah,
accept it.
resolution to, I
We
mean,
accept the
motion to accept
resolution.
it.
Motion by Ms. Locke to accept the resolution 26-01. Do I have a second?
I second.
Second by Kay. All in favor, saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Thank you.
I'm going to go watch some
Appreciate
Sneads
it.
baseball. Y'all have a
Yes,
good
sir.
evening.
Okay.
Thank you.
Mike, if you'll sign that resolution,
Yes.
you should have it up there.
Okay. All right, you wanna speak on the recreation, or does anybody here want to speak on recreation? Bill, you got anything?
I don't see anybody here, but I just know I see the copies of the signups for baseball and t-ball and all that stuff, and they're coming through. There's a lot of them, so I assume that the signups are gonna be as much or more than they were last year, because I've just seen a lot of them come through my computer. I get a note every time they do it for some reason, but, looks like it's going well. We've got a lot of stuff going on. The recreation department's done a wonderful job down there with the ball field. They got lights going. They got a new sign down there that they got from the Assembly of God Church. They're getting that fixed up, and they're just doing a lot of things down there, which is very good. There's a possibility, we didn't get funding from FEMA on the lights. There was $1.5 million that they just refused to give us for whatever reason, and we've been fighting on that for several years, long before I got here, and they're still doing it, and they've denied it. But there's $369,000 that they're gonna probably allot us to have for work down at the ball field. So there may be some things that we're gonna be able to do in the near future. I'll get with the rec program and the council and decide which direction we wanna go with that. It's gotta be used strictly for that, though. It can't be used for anything else.
But everything, all the fields are lit up now.
All the fields are lit up,
That's great.
and we do have an appropriation in the legislature for some more money if we get it. They're good enough now, but if we get this money, we can replace the lights that we have now with the state-of-the-art lights and probably some new concrete poles, or the metal poles that withstand the hurricane. So there may be, if we get that grant, we can redo some of what they've done, but again, they've done a wonderful job.
Yeah, they
Just a
have.
wonderful job.
All right, move on into your report. please.
Okay, I just have a few things I want to touch on that's been going on. I just spoke about the appropriation for the new lights and poles at the ball field, and possibly for a public safety building. That'll be something that we'll find out about in the spring if we get that. It'll be funded by the state. I'm moving forward. I talked with them today about renting a space on the water tower from Verizon. I'm negotiating with them on which tank they want to use and the monthly rental fee, and I'll know more about that in the upcoming weeks. But I talked with them today. They did a proposal for the other tank, but there's already T-Mobile's on there, and if we move it there, we only get half the rent. It's just a complicated process. But if we use the new one, then we get all the money that we can. So I'm gonna try to get that worked out. The Pope Street paving, we've talked about this previously, has been approved. And we should get the money released this summer, and then they can start the process of bidding and engineering and all that stuff. Also, I've spoken with the county commission. I talked with Donnie Branch, and he's going, while they're here doing Pope Street, they're gonna do Gloucester from 90 to Pope Street while they have the equipment here, because they can do it a lot cheaper. And he's agreed to do that. He did the last one for us from the 4-way up to 90, and he's gonna finish it on up to Pope Street. So that's another road that we're gonna get paved that we haven't had done. So hopefully that'll, I don't know when, but it's coming. It's already been approved. We're gonna do a request tomorrow for a proposal for a comprehensive disaster recovery agency. As y'all know, we've been dealing with our paramedics for the last, since the hurricane. Since I've been here, it's just been really frustrating. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna put it out for bid, and see what we get, how many bids we get for those services, and see if we can get somebody to be a little bit more reactive to the community and helpful. There's just been we spent a lot of money that the town has over the years and didn't get what we deserved from that money. And it just got really bad at the end. The last two people that have worked for us have left. And so it's just not been a real smooth situation with them. So we're gonna go ahead and put it out for bid again and see what we can get. The stormwater grant is ongoing. I spoke with them today about that grant. It's almost a $5 million grant that's been pending for a long time, but they're getting down to getting the work done. The design is 90% approved. It should be completed by March. The complete design package by the engineer will be done in April. We'll do the bid opening in probably June. These are tentative dates now at this point. And the construction starting probably in July. It's gonna involve, and I can't tell you exactly where, there's 15 locations in town for stormwater that the engineer has located that they're gonna do some work on. It's gonna be a lot of ditches and curbing and stuff like that. Also some road repairs, some resurfacing will be done because of that. So all that's, hopefully will start off this summer. Also, I talked to DOT today, and Highway 90 from the 4-lane in Grand Ridge to the Apalachicola River will begin this summer. We've been doing a lot of stuff with the utilities and stuff to make sure that they know where they are. I work with Gary to try to find out where all the water sewer lines are, and working with telephone poles and Verizon and the telephone companies. But we're getting all that squared away, and hopefully they're supposed to start their construction sometime in July of this year. So it'll start there, and it'll probably take a long time. They're gonna do some work on some of the sidewalks in town and do Highway 90 all the way through town, all the way to the Apalachicola River. So that's coming up. We just talked about the M. Scott paving from McAllen Mill Road, from Jackson Street, all the way to Gloucester again. And we'll see how that goes. That's gonna be appropriate. That'll be a selection by the DOT, and we don't know whether we'll get it or not. Hopefully we'll be able to get that. We've got a new dump truck that was paid for by excess FEMA funds being built. We should get it this summer by Freightliner, and they won the low bid, and they've already started construction on the truck that's going to be built from the ground up, and it will be paid for by the FEMA outstanding funds that we have. I have a meeting with the Regional Planning Council from Tallahassee to finalize a new grant application for the wells and also for the water meters. And we're gonna do a couple more grants, applications for that, and I meet with them next week. We think we have a good shot at it from what we're hearing from Tallahassee. And I think maybe we can get those and do some upgrades with our water system and our water meters. We also have had some requests from some of the employees to direct deposit their checks, and we're working on that. And we hope to have that done within, the next couple month.
It's gonna take a little while. Y'all all have forms there I need y'all to have filled out as well.
Because it's gotta be all or none, and so, we've had some people that requested it, and it's never been done before. Most agencies do that today. We're probably one of the few that still have done a paper check, so we're gonna go ahead and modernize it a little bit and get that done, and that'll take some of the stress off. So that's in the works, and it should be done hopefully the next month or so.
I have to get approval from the bank for us to send the ACH to them, and then they will direct deposit it to all y'all and to the employees' account. So if y'all can fill out the paperwork and get it back to me as well.
And that's all I have.
All righty. Chief? Yes, sir, looks like you, like on McGruff, keep taking a bite out of frying. Appreciate all you do. And, keep up the good work there, and anything you need out of us, we're right here to support you. Russell? Fire department.
We did 30 calls last month, 31 days, calls. We've been kind of busy a little bit. New truck got used 3 times, worked great.
Good deal. Appreciate all y'all do. Y'all are some of the best, dedicated bunch. All right, we'll move over to, council member, Mr. Perry.
All I have, I'm glad to see this moving forward with the direct deposit, because I know whenever I came on, that was one of the things that I heard a lot of employees talking about was direct deposit. So I'm just glad to see that finally in the process. So thank you for all your work for that. That's all I have.
So you got, Ms.
That's
Walker?
I just wanted to say a little thank you to Danielle about the little, I think that's the substation 4 out there with the new sign. Didn't you help in getting that?
That was actually being part of the, bid package,
Oh,
the
it was. Well, that
Blankenship.
place, it looks beautiful. I'm just impressed with that.
Yeah,
It just looks-
Blankenship did that. That was, they
The
were
lift
the
station?
contractor,
Yeah,
and,
that's good.
that was in with the bid package.
Billy Carpenter is the one that's,
Mhm.
was the head of that process, and And that was part of their whole plan, but it was done by them. It had, you know, it was part
I
of the.
did mean to put that on Facebook, and I keep forgetting.
Yeah, we need to thank them for that, because it does look good. And I've had some people talk about wanting to cut some trees back so they can see it when they're coming into town, especially at night and stuff. And we're gonna, I've talked to Gary about that. We're gonna try to get a few cutbacks so they can have it more visible.
That's all I got.
Oh, you got, oh,
I'll take that for that.
since we've, got the ball rolling on nuisances, we need to, I think we got some people that's, I don't know if you wanna call them squatters or what you wanna call them, but needs to be checked into, violating the rule of living in a residence without water and power. If, you're not able to locate them or get the guys that does the meter reading to let you know where they're at, I'll get with you one day and mention that to you and let you check into that. I mean, if we're gonna make improvements, we need to follow through now. And then there's some other areas too of concern that, which I know you've already been out looking, me and you've already talked, you know, that's got to be, touched on. And I think some of the people, once they receive the letter, that they're gonna make an effort to do what they need to do. I mean, without getting nasty with them, you know, but we can't let this linger on like we did with this other guy, you know, all this time, so.
We've had some good response on some of the letters, you know, when people complain or I see something, a lot of times it comes to me and I send the letter, a lot of times they'll do a good job and do that, so.
You know, and my place don't look the best in the world either. I love my junk, I move it, you know, but I'm not trying to get out of nothing, I'm trying to straighten it up too, but our main thoroughfares, like coming in from I-10 and coming in from River Road, the main places, you know, where people travel back and forth to school and all and see this stuff, you know, is really the ones that really need to help us to try to spruce things up a little bit, make it look a little bit better, so. That was, it would really look nice. My other thing is, Quentin resigned, right?
Right.
What have we done to replace him? Anything yet, or?
Well, we're still waiting to find out what we're gonna have, if we're gonna have any money from the cybersecurity stuff. The more I read, the worse it gets, and it's not my decision to make, but, I didn't wanna, in my opinion, I don't know that we wanna go out and hire somebody if we can't afford when the final income comes in from the cybersecurity. I was talking to the manager in Graceville today, and she was talking, and it could be upwards of $100,000 to $200,000. We're just not sure yet. And I don't feel certain that we need to go out and expend more money and do that when you don't know what the final outcome of that is. And nobody has the real answer to it. They just say it's very expensive.
Oh,
There are available for cybersecurity. I checked. But right now, the only thing that was left at the time was residuals. Well, those residuals not gonna be open until April, which will be the second quarter.
that's when more money will be available, or that?
That is when more money will be available. The problem we have is there will be a lot of municipalities lining up for those grants, but that's not gonna happen till April 1st.
Yeah, and I think every town is in the same, except maybe Miami's and Orlando's, everybody's in the same shape we are. And there's only a certain amount of money that's gonna go around, and, you know, it's just, the chances of that are,
I had heard that Chattahoochee jumped on the wagon and already received their grant, got theirs taken care of.
That's true.
You know, right off the get-go, so. I mean, I'm concerned, the chief's doing all he can do, he's very dedicated. He's out here day and night, you know what I'm saying, he's wearing himself out for us. I mean, I think he needs some help. We fixing to start really seeing some bad stuff, you know, we already are. I mean, not killing or nothing like that, I'm trying to say, but a lot of violations in the afternoons, late and on weekends. You know, they know where they at now. There ain't nobody here. I mean, and you know, if we could get him some help, you know, just to be around town, be visible. I mean, they had a report over here the other night on a place where they had people loitering in somebody's yard staking out, you know, his thing, you know. And I mean, you hear people talking and mentioning stuff, so that's my concern. I mean, I don't want us to be completely without. I don't know why we can't look for a part-time man or do something with that salary that was left over from Hollis until we, you know, till they come down and drop the hammer on us, you know, with this cybersecurity stuff. I mean, we may get lucky and get a grant. And now that we working through the sheriff's office with, for all of our NCIC stuff. I mean, do we have a terminal here at the police department?
Excuse me?
We do have a terminal over there?
But if Sneads has an individual
Okay.
terminal, they've got to do everything that the sheriff
That's what
in
I'm saying.
Miami and everybody else does. I
But
mean,
being the county's dispatching force now, couldn't we do away with our terminal?
No, well, I don't know.
Yeah, we could. The issue, the reason why we have to have it is because we are a police department. So we do have people's personal social security numbers, records and stuff like that. That's why we have to do it, because I checked with Graceville and Cottonville. But there are grants for that. Like I said, they won't be available till April 1st. But yeah, that is why I was trying to find a way around it, because I no longer use FCIC and CIC. I go through the sheriff's department.
Right.
So I did try to find a way around that.
Now, does the county provide deputies at these school zones now? Vince,
No.
they should. There's usually 2 or 3 granaries, you know, on school
That's because
days.
they don't
I
have a
saw
police
some
department.
yesterday.
Do I now?
I saw some yesterday.
Here in Sneads?
That's right.
The deputies that are assigned at the school, because of Marjorie, the shooting down in Broward, they have to stay at the school. They can't leave the school. That's what the sheriff is under contract for.
Right.
That's why they don't leave the school, because they can't.
Are you doing the morning time with the elementary school?
I only do the elementary school in the afternoon.
What's your thoughts? Leave it like it is, you know,
I mean, I feel like you do.
I don't think we should hire somebody in here. Are you talking about give them benefits and everything right now
well.
with our money
Quint
situation?
was getting benefits, I mean, so that money is still available in this budget.
Well, this is what me and Brett's talked about, because me and him have talked several times about it. As far as like hiring another full-time officer, me and him are kinda like stuck, because we don't know what to do. We have no direction, no offense from y'all, because y'all have said, don't hire anybody else at $45,000. Well, you're not gonna get an officer less than $45,000 when they can go to the sheriff's office or anywhere else making more than that.
Well, they have a dangerous job, I mean, already, you know,
So,
taking a gun and wearing
We're
a
not gonna
badge.
get an
I mean.
officer for $45,000 or less, and y'all have said not to hire anybody at that. So, that's why you have not,
She telling you the truth, Mr. Reese. You won't get anybody at 45.
and you said that, right? You said you can't hire
No less than
anybody at
45.
that. So, you know, that's one issue. You're not gonna get anybody at that. And then if you hire a part-time officer, you have to offer them benefits. We're back to that same issue, so.
And a lot of the problem is they've just opened up those positions in Graceville up there, on the county line up there. They've hired 40 or 60 people at $60,000 a year. And that's pulled people from the sheriff's office, which means there's openings there that can pay more. And it kind of, the smaller towns have a hard time keeping up, really. Because of the budget
Well,
aspect.
you know, I think if we, I know what y'all saying, I mean, I think if we could come up with an amount and throw it out there and, you know, see if we could find somebody that would, you know, wanna work part-time, or they might be somebody retired that might would take that, you know, for full-time for, less salary than for 45, it's possible. I mean, you know, we,
Do you have somebody in mind, Brett? No?
Not right now.
and I'm just concerned, like I say, in the way we had it scheduled for Brett, you know, 8 to 4, and then Quentin from 4 to 12, or however it was. We still left our weekends open. You know, we need somebody to be visible on the weekends. I mean, if y'all out and about and, you know, there's lawbreakers out here. And, I'm just worried about it getting worse. I mean, myself, but I don't know, like I say. That's just my feelings on it.
What is the starting salary at 45, whatever the starting salary is, work out to per hour?
Like $20 and some change.
Oh, okay, yeah, you're not gonna find a police officer or anybody that's qualified for that.
Oh,
like 20, almost 21, I think it is, something like that.
21 or something.
but I feel like you need some help. I mean, I really do. I feel like that the people in town needs to see,
Fred already works a weekend, volunteers to work on his own time, and he ain't getting paid for it, so he's working 7 days a week. He's out here all the time, if anybody goes out and sees, so he goes calls all weekend.
If somebody calls me out to do something, I'll come out and do it.
well, we appreciate that, but like I told you, no need to wear yourself out with this, you know what I'm saying? I mean, without compensation, I mean, it ain't like it was back in the day. I mean, and, things are a little bit different now, but
And what I'm doing right now, Mr. Weeks, is I'm splitting the shift. What I'm doing is like, I come in I do a 9 to 11, or I do a 10 to midnight. Because your peak hours of the calls here, in my experience, have usually been from the late afternoon to the late evening. That's where our peak calls are gonna be. During the first part of the day, we usually don't have a lot of calls. That's why I do that. So there's still a Sneads PD presence. That's why I'm doing that.
oh, I'm not gonna do it tonight, but at the next meeting, I'm gonna be prepared to turn the gavel over to you, so that I will be able to make a motion after I consult the attorney, and I will put it in the form of a motion that we go ahead and advertise and hire that position, and see if we can get somebody to take it. May not get a second, but that's my plan as of right now. Like I say, we need some help, we need some visibility in this around, so that's what my plan will be for our next meeting. Okay. How's, they had done some changes and did some things at the treatment plant and all, have y'all been seeing any difference in savings and stuff there at the?
They're still working on that. They're not quite through with the stuff at the treatment plant, but we've got the lift station 2, which is the main and the force main done, and that's supposed to help us with the electricity because we got a new power plant there, a new electrical panel from everything, and we've cut out one of our lift stations to do a drain down to, and I think it's lift station 3, but don't quote me on that. So we took out one that would have cost us several $100,000 to replace. It only did like 4 or 5 houses, and it didn't really make sense to have it there. It was in great need of repair, so they just went ahead and did a bypass, ran the pipe through there to another location to cut in, which is going to save us money there. So there should be a lot of savings as far as electrical power goes with the sewer plant. And they've got a couple other things they're doing down there, and they're also going to do the on the grant that we already have. They're going to do the conversion. I know some people on here were concerned about the gas chlorine that we were utilizing, and they're going to do that conversion as part of that grant. They had some contingency funds, and they're going to utilize that and get all that work done with the money that's available.
Generators for water tank, city hall.
We just put a big one down there at one of the water tanks. It's not hooked up yet. They're going to be hooking it up. It was moved from some of the things they've been doing with the wastewater. The sewer. And there's a huge one down there at the water tank. They're going to hook that up in the coming days, I think. And we have grants out for 2 or 3 more generators.
Okay.
So we're getting that covered.
Okay, I'm just following up here.
Yeah.
Sneads Park, we hadn't heard anything on that
I
lately.
called Jody Timmons with Corps of Engineer last week, and he wanted me to send him an email. He was on the road coming back from South Florida. I sent him an email to remind him to check at Tuscaloosa where they're doing the combined lease, and he said he'd get back with me. That's all I know.
All right, I can't think of the guy's name right off, it's gone from me, but the one that was helping us with the boat ramp project.
Andy Easton.
Andy Easton, where we at with that one?
I just looked in Flair, and they're sending us $77,000 for the reimbursement for that boating grant, so we're getting that money back. We should be getting the money back from that. He is no longer gonna be doing the boating, grant stuff, so, that was just for the, design phase of it.
77,000 was?
And so now we gotta go after the actual contract, the construction part of it.
Okay.
So I think all days already gone, Howell, but I think they're gonna help us with that part of it.
Okay.
I
So
told
we're gonna
Andy,
apply for that.
I told Andy
Yes.
East, and he just said he was tired of fooling with the wildlife people, and said it was too stressful and too,
Yeah.
and so he just said he's done with that kind of boating stuff, and so he's got us through this part of the phase of the project, and then he's backing out, and we will turn it over to somebody else.
But we should be getting 77,000, like, I looked and the checks have already been cut, so we should be getting
Now,
that.
we have to go through the process of awarding them the 77,000 to do the study, or is that already?
No, we've already done that.
That's already in
Yeah,
place,
we've already
okay.
done that, we already paid for that, we're getting our reimbursement for that.
Oh, okay, all right.
Yeah.
But All Day and Howell was one doing the design now, or?
No, the design part was already done, now we gotta just go out for the construction bid
Okay.
and, or grant to get that, and then get the grant for that part of
It's
it.
gotta start over, it's gotta start from scratch again.
When is this
trying to
grant
get the-
cycle gonna be coming available to do?
I'm not sure, I think in the coming months, I think they told me last time it was
I'd have to go back and look
in the
at my
late
email.
spring is what I remember,
I can't
but
remember.
I don't remember the exact date.
Yeah. I don't know, Joseph knows, Joseph Hoffman knows, I don't know, I can't remember that one.
All right, then, I got a agenda card here from Pug Charles. Don't mind approaching.
I don't need to come to the podium, I think I can talk loud enough, I don't know who all knows me, I'm a 40-year law enforcement officer, I'm an accountant, I'm currently an auxiliary policeman for the town of Alpha. And we don't have the cybersecurity issue there like y'all confess we have here. I don't know what the problems are. I personally have spent the last 4 or 5 days researching cybersecurity and grant money through FDLE to find out where the money comes from, how do you get it, and how do you apply it. Chattahoochee was able to apply, apparently the grant money that was available to Chattahoochee occurred in 25, 26, but had been applied for in 24. So that was an open funding grant, and I don't know why somebody here didn't go check it out and see. I'm willing to do whatever. I'm an accountant. I have a question for Bill. You said that the budget cut the funding for the police department. In my life experience, I've never seen the legislator do a line item veto to cut the police department for Sneads in a budget. Did they do that?
Say that again?
Well, you said the budget, they cut the budget for your police officers here in Sneads, so you don't have the money available.
The legislature didn't cut our budget, the legislature's cutting, we get our monies from state taxes. We don't get it from the
But
legislature.
They funded, the legislator approves a budget, and the town of Sneads submits a budget, and they send you the money, but they don't do line item vetoes of expenses for police departments in the town of Sneads. They give you a gross amount of money.
Exactly.
Okay, so don't use line item vetoes to cut the police department in Sneads.
Well, let me just tell you this, Mr. Charles.
Okay.
When I came here, and by the way, it was not, it was after 2024 when all that could have been done. But whenever we did our first budget, we were $157,000 in the red with our general fund. And that was because of the police department, because of the previous administration had given $15,000, $20,000 raises to the police, which I have no problem with if you have the money, and added a couple
Well, I know
of
that
positions.
money came from grants that.
No, it didn't. It came from
Or-
COVID money that was non-recurring. So when the money ran out,
I
then,
totally understand that.
so when the money's gone, we don't have the money to do
In
it.
all these meetings, you talk about a $700,000 budget, $700,000 budget. You lost 5 officers. So you didn't have a $700,000 actual cost. You had a budgeted amount. You lose 5 officers, your amount
Our budget is $430,000 this year for the police department.
was actually paid.
It's the budget that we began the year with. We don't pay it to,
Well, you've lost 3. now.
no, it was based on the 2 officers
Brett and Hollis,
in Hollis.
and the budget for Sneads started when?
October.
1.
So you're counting fiscal year, not counting.
Correct.
Just-
And listen, you're welcome to come to my office anytime. We'll open the books. You can look at everything. It's right there. It's on the internet.
Well, I don't have to do public records request.
You don't have to do that. Just come see me.
Okay. Well,
I'll be glad to talk to you about it,
red herring
show you
about
everything we
cyber-
got.
Red herring about cybersecurity stuff is I've spent enough days now. FDLE told me that there was money coming April 1st. They don't know how much or when for rural communities to be able to apply because there's a bunch of rural communities. But today, the police association, the Florida Police Association, is handled by Miami, Orlando, Tampa, and all the big city people. And they don't look out for the rural community. So I don't even know if we are a member of the police association today.
I just want to say one thing, you know, you talked about Chattahoochee got this money in 2024. We didn't
No, they
find,
got the money now.
I understand that, but they applied in 2024. We didn't find out about this until what? And Jason went to our meeting about 2 months ago because the FBI came in and did a audit of FDLE, and they were very, very short on a lot of things. So they forced FDLE to do it, which is forcing the state of Florida to do it. And it's kind of run downhill. So in 2024, nobody knew any of this.
Okay. I saw the information as to how did the information get out that there were funds available. And I got a printout of here of the different grants that were available. So Chattahoochee would know to apply for the money. Now, if you're in 24, if you weren't here.
I wasn't here.
Okay, I'm just telling you that apparently the application had to go in. And I finally got up with somebody today at FDLE and I shared with Brett the lady's name. Apparently, the Police Chiefs Association gets the information first from FDLE, and they are to distribute it to the police departments. But apparently, the rural communities don't ever get the information. And I made FDLE obviously aware that the information is not filtering down to the 4 towns. So, I'm not adversarial or anything. I'm just saying, I'm not afraid to call somebody and find out what's going on. And I know who to call, and I will call. Okay? But at one of the meetings, y'all approved him and 2 others and a part-time law enforcement position. That was being, y'all were talking about a $700,000 budget back in the day. Then we come forward, there's a difference between what is budgeted and what is actually paid.
I understand that.
Okay, but people, the public doesn't know that. When you talk about revenue and you talk about expenses, there's 2 different issues.
Listen, when I started here, the police budget was $750,000. They had just moved the dispatching to Mariana, which was probably around $150,000. That's $900,000 of it, and you got 9 other departments that you've got to run under there. It's all about money. It's about the
I
budget.
totally understand.
Well, I just
I
want to make sure you do
I
understand.
had 200 law enforcement
and-
officers working for me at the Attorney General's office.
And
So I
listen,
know about budgets.
I was in law enforcement for 45 years, so I mean, I know it as well. So,
If you can come up with some more information that he,
Well, I'm
might
good
be
at
of
keep
interest.
digging, and we're gonna find out, but we need to be a member of the, Police Chiefs Association. If we're not, and I don't know how you become that, get the information that FDLE sends out. But
I
the
think
lady-
Tyler was, so it's probably going to your
Yeah, it
email.
should go through the chief, shouldn't it?
It should be
Well,
going
it
to the
should.
chief's
You'd
email.
think. But apparently it's not.
But I haven't received anything about it.
And FDLE didn't know, so,
check, chief, you will check on that.
now Jimmy Baggett down in the police department in Alpha goes through Calhoun County, for the dispatch. We don't have a dispatch. I don't know what the requirement is for the IC terminal, but that's the issue. And apparently Jimmy can tell you that there's apparently more stuff about computers and, evidence and data entry there. But, apparently the girl at FDLE told me that there was funds coming, but don't know how much or when, in the next quarter, to be able to get grants to pay for the cybersecurity.
The next
All right,
one is
well,
April the 1st.
Bring that information to us, and we're gonna see what happens about April the 1st.
Well, I'm gonna follow it through, so,
Like I
I'm not
say,
going away.
I would like to, next month to see something done to try to get us some part-time help or something until we can see what they're gonna make us do with that. Like I said in the meeting before, until they come up here and throw something up there on the table and tell us this is what you got to do, we ain't got to do nothing.
Well,
All right.
Jimmy Baggett just got audited and didn't get written up, and I'm telling you, he ain't gonna do anything either. So he's got the town of Alpha Police Department, I'm one of 5 auxiliary guys there, he's the chief, but we don't have any full-time people. So,
Appreciate you sharing all that with us.
well, I have some other stuff to ask you guys about, and I've talked about this one time before. Since the town of Sneads now owns land out by the baseball field, the high school baseball field, you can get a grant If you watched out here this afternoon, the track boys are running up and down the road right over here. Ja'Cory Irvin works for Miss Chris, his grandson, is the grandson of Miss Chris at the Laundry. Was an All-American track star at FSU. He holds 4 or 5 records. He would be a willing track coach if we could get a grant and build a track out here over where the football field is by the baseball field. And I know there's a football field there because I promoted it. Now, the Sneads owns the land. DOC gave them the land because it's the same land the baseball park's on. Second thing is, y'all consider, you got an election coming up in April, put it out to the public. Let's charge a 1 or 2 cent tax in the town of Sneads for the people who buy gas to raise money to build the roads, buy equipment, to do all kind of stuff with the money. But let the people know about it, let them vote on it. Put it out there at the end of the utility bill that goes out in March.
Danielle, could we put something like that on the, ballot?
Special
Can you
tax.
check on that? And, you know, a referendum to see if the people will be interested. Everybody complains about these roads, but we just ain't got the money to go out here and pave every road. We need some help some kind of way.
Special purpose
I mean,
tax, and I think if the people
But I-
knew what you were gonna do with the money, I think it'd be.
I'd like for the people to have the voice in it
Now,
myself.
I know
I mean,
you
I don't
can
wanna
get a
just,
grant for the track because J.R. Moody Young got one for the elementary school over at Grand Ridge.
will you
I
check on
don't
that?
know if we could put it on the ballot for this time.
We got it for April.
I know, but I'm saying, because they have, I don't know if they would be able to get it on there.
Check on it for us if you don't
I'd
mind.
have to check with the elections office to see if they
Okay.
would be able to get that on
As far as the
ballot.
track, you mentioned before, with it being a school affiliated thing, as I mentioned to you as well, did you go to the school board?
I don't need to check with the school board. The town of Sneads owns the property, and they're the ones that have to apply for the grant. The school board wouldn't apply.
Okay, and you said JR got one for over there, so you know there's a grant. There might have been that year, there may not be now, so I don't want people.
I'll tell you what, I can do the research for you, and
Uh-huh.
I'll be gladly to update you. But I'm
Well,
willing to
we
do
don't
it.
need you to, we got a town manager, but what I'm saying is,
okay.
I don't want people getting in their head, oh yeah, there's a grant out there and there should be a
Well, I
track.
think that there probably are grants available out there if you go look, but have you ever looked?
Then I need to-
Have you
Have
made
I-
any effort? Yes, you.
Wait just a minute, hold on.
What?
I've got a town manager that does that.
Okay.
I'm a city council. The people come to me with their concerns, and then I go to my town manager. I don't look up
Well, you
grants.
challenged me a couple of times in here, and
I sure have, and all I've asked you to do was go to the school board
I'm not
first
gonna go to the
because,
school board, I don't need to.
okay, well, we're a poor community, and that's the only reason I asked you that
I'm not asking the city
question.
to pay for it, I'm talking about getting a grant.
Okay, have you asked the school, are they gonna have a track? Are they
already
gonna
have a
participate?
team. They already have a team, they have to go to various places to practice.
Uh-huh, okay, yeah, but I'm not challenging you, you're a citizen, I'm asking you a question, and that's all I'm doing. All I'm saying is, I don't want our citizens to get in their head that there's a grant sitting there waiting for us to put a track out here, because some people will just hear
I
that,
know if you don't look, you won't find it.
and they won't know that there's not money there, but you can look all day long, and sometimes there's not any there. We know that too. Do we not, council, when there's not money for roads, there's not money for lights out there? Thank God we have an SRA that put lights out there,
Yeah.
right?
Yes,
Am I correct?
you are.
Okay, thank you. Not challenging you, just giving
Appreciate
you the
it.
facts.
All right,
Wait, Mike, may I say something?
yeah, you can say.
Chief, I need to know, I had someone call me about dogs. Can you tell me, I don't know what I'm supposed to tell that person. I think maybe you have gone to that house before.
I've had nothing but dog calls in the last week. The only thing I can tell you is what I've been doing is maintenance has been putting the traps out, and we've been catching them. Well, 3 dogs have been taken in the last week, and another one we found a shelter for.
How much is a dog, get rid of a dog now?
On $90-something for
90-something?
if they come once.
But if you pick up a dog, can the owner go get them out of jail, out of dog jail?
Yes, ma'am. Now, typically, lately, we ain't been finding any owners. I've been overrun with dogs because I don't know who owns some of these dogs. So what happens when we bring them to the kennel, I feed them, I let, City Hall know, and they usually call animal control to come pick them up. Now, I
Okay.
think the town is charged so much a head for a dog.
Well,
$90
yeah.
something
It's
dollars.
$90-something
Yes, ma'am.
a
But
trip.
what if there is barking for 2 hours, and they know they're next door, they're their neighbor's dogs? What should we do? What can we tell them? I don't know the protocol. I don't know what to tell this woman, but she's very upset.
What time of day is it?
I don't know. She just said, but I know in my neighborhood, I know what time it is. It's about 6, 8 to 10 o'clock when I'm trying to sleep. So,
Trying to,
If we know who it is, we can send them a letter. Usually what, we have a letter we can send to them if it's been a nuisance. And usually we would get the officer to go and hand deliver the letter saying, hey, look, whatever it is, whether the dog was going into the neighbor's property
Just
and
barking.
messing up, tearing up. In this case, I guess we could say it's been a nuisance, barking,
you
and ask them to try to get control over their animal. I don't know how they're gonna get control over a barking dog,
Well,
but,
let me explain, you kind of get in the gray area there,
Yeah.
if the dog is on their private
That's
property.
right.
yeah.
That's where you have an issue at. If your dog's on your private property, Miss Neal, I can go and tell you, your dog's barking too loud, but you can't really, you keeping your dog on your property, I can't really tell you to control your dog on your own property. Now, if it goes on somebody else's property, that's where we have issues. But you kind of get in the gray area where the police can't actually enforce a dog barking on somebody's private property, as long as they keep
We
their
can just
dog.
ask them to.
I had a situation like that, and I got a complaint, and I sent a letter to the person, and they contacted me, and he said, look, I work out of town, my wife and child are in the house by themselves, the dog's there for their protection. Normally, he's quiet, but I can't help it if a squirrel comes by or a rabbit comes by, he's gonna bark, And he said, it's there, he said, I'm out of town, and it's there for my protection of my family. So, I tried to get them to do what they could to help the neighborhood as far as it goes, but what do you tell somebody if I'm out of town and I have a wife and a child there and I got a dog to protect them? It's,
Now,
that's tough.
in the city's defense, I think 2 or 3 city managers back, they did get a leash ordinance. So they did do that. Because if a dog is on somebody else's property, if a dog is aggressive on somebody else's property, they have a right to defend their property. But if it's on your own property, I can't just come and tell you, hey.
put a muzzle on.
Yes, ma'am.
Well, it's,
That's the little gray area you get in, because
very, very
then,
much so.
yeah, that's, as far as legal, that's where you get in the gray area right there.
Chief, ain't there a certain time at night though, that it don't matter if it's a dog or you standing out there howling, they have to silence it? I mean, it's disturbing the peace after, I thought it was a city ordinance after like 10 o'clock.
Not so much for a dog. Now,
For an animal.
For an animal. Now, a person, that's something
It's still
completely
disturbing
different.
the peace though.
Right, but it's,
It's gonna
an
fall
animal.
under civil thing.
Right, because it's on their private property.
Mm.
That's where you start getting them.
that's something that we've had issue with for years and years and years.
And you're gonna continue.
And it's gonna continue to be that way. The town can't, I'm just throwing this out there, we can't get into dog business. That's gonna entail another person and then $90 a head, because they could probably go around and catch 100 head, pretty quick, you know what I'm saying? But I was gonna mention to you, the dog, it aggravates me too, because I ride my motorcycle, and I've almost wrecked 3 times because of dogs running out ahead of them, and, but nobody owns them dogs.
Not when it comes down.
So I asked law enforcement if I could take my gun with me, my shotgun on my motorcycle, and kill them. I can't do that because,
You're out on a public
right.
road.
But my life
On
is
your
more important
property.
than a dog that somebody don't own, and that's what I say, I got a problem with that.
Yeah, I understand.
Anyway. We'll work, anybody else got it, sir?
I'm sorry. The only other option that I have as far as that might be something that you may wanna do in the near future. And it's just a suggestion. You might wanna invest in hiring somebody for animal control. Now, the county does fine, they do. They do, but the problem is, we house them for a couple of days, they come pick them up, or they'll set traps out. Cause that's the only thing you really can do. And maintenance is so strung out, all they can do is set the traps out for them, and then they'll go pick them up. And as I understand, the reason why they don't do it on the weekends is because that's not necessarily something we would call maintenance out for, to come and get the traps. So they only do it during the week. But they've been catching them. The problem is, it's 10 or 12 more behind it. But that's just a suggestion for the near future. If you want to do that, the city could do it
We can't
themselves.
afford it, Brett.
But, you know, I'm just saying.
I know.
It'd be another salary plus $90 a head to, euthanize them. I mean, so that'd be a big cost incurred, and the people, you add $1 to their water bill for animal control, and they're gonna holler about that, you know what I'm saying? We would have to add $5 or $6 per person probably per month to animal control, if that would even cover it.
So, just tell this person we have no control?
No, just tell them to call, if it's a loose dog,
No, it's not a loose dog, it's behind a fence, so it's on their own property, so there's nothing we can do.
Not really.
Okay, I just wanna make sure that
It's a
I
civil
tell
matter.
the truth.
Yes, ma'am.
Anybody else got anything
Thank
they
you.
wanna bring to our attention before we adjourn this meeting? Anybody in the audience? Don?
Yeah, I'd like to, question, y'all seem to wanna, you're fine with just these cheap right now, you don't wanna, do anything better with it. What about the county, they ain't done anything? Or have y'all kept up on some of these different sites, like Sue she called the Sneads police, and of course, she got referred to the county said they didn't come out, it had to do, I'm guessing it's a drunk person on the road.
I called Brett about that, and he went down and checked on them, couldn't find anybody down there. We followed up on that.
You followed up
Yeah.
on
I
that? That's
did.
strange, because the county said, well, we didn't handle this thing right.
I followed up on it. I called Brett when I saw it, and we went down there and looked to see if we could find the guy in the turquoise car, and he wasn't nowhere to be found, so we
And
didn't
how
follow
long
him.
was that after?
I can't tell you.
Yeah, that's the whole thing, that's just like River Road. What's the sense of having a speed limit on there, or having, where you can't allow four-wheelers on there, if they're doing it anyway, and they know, there's only one here in town, and we don't have any county out here. Y'all need to do something about it, that's the whole thing. You complain you ain't got any money, but you got money to spend. Oh, well, we can get a grant for this, we'll get this, but then we gotta go ahead and do that, well, that's maybe wrong, we won't worry about it. Or, what about that land there you just bought? Where'd you get the money to buy that from? Was that from a grant?
Mhm.
And your insurance comes to the grant? Cause you gotta pay insurance on all these properties you got around town. I really, y'all not putting your stuff the way it should be. If we don't have a police force in this town, you forget about it. And everybody knows there's only one. I've talked to several people in this town, and everyone was told, what are you gonna do? There's only one. And the county don't come out. And they have more or less made that a point. They're not going. If they do, it's gonna be an hour or two later. And a lady up here had people back there in the backyard, they're trying to take, what I get out of trying to take her boat. And she called me, and she told them, I have a gun, and I am armed. And they still didn't show up. So, whatever happens right now, I mean, what is it gonna take? It's gonna take for someone to get shot, get killed, before you decide to do anything? Y'all need, if you're gonna support the police, support it. If you're not gonna, then don't. But either way, if we're gonna live in this town here, we need some protection, or your laws aren't any good. And evidently, they ain't any good, because I've watched them here. Noise pollution, I hear the time they turn off at night and go up River Road, I can hear them in their vehicle. I can hear them when they run on up the road over the hill, you still hear it. And that's just noise. That ain't got to do with the speeds they're running.
I do that right here in front of the police department, in front of City Hall.
What?
Flying by City Hall, right here in front of the police department, going to the
That's-
school.
Appreciate your input on that, Ron, but, you know, that's something that's gonna continue to get worse because they know what we got, yeah.
I think the sheriff's department is 9 deputies down as far as the work population. And I don't think they have enough people to cover the territory.
They'll find no matter what.
Anybody else got anything they wanna bring to our attention before we adjourn?